All right, to start, Kendrick, I appreciate you hopping on this call with me. I know you have a big game coming up in less than 24 hours. Just to start, how did this whole nationalizing work and joining the Montenegro team?
Well, first of all, appreciate you having me. But nah, it just kind of started. So 2 years ago, I was playing in Panathinaikos, and then I ended up moving to Budućnost halfway through the year, which is in Montenegro.
Hmm.
And my agent Misko Raznadovic, he basically reached out to me and he said, I know you're familiar with playing in the ABA league because I spent about half of my career there.
Yep.
Um, I know you're currently playing with Budućnost in Montenegro. The national team is actually looking for a point guard right now. So is it something you would be kind of interested in? And ever since I really understood what the European passport meant as an American, I thought it was something that I thought would be special. And again, like I mentioned, I was kind of familiar with a lot of the guys on the team, playing against them throughout my career. So it was just one of those things I kind of I jumped the gun on. I said, yeah, let's do it. And it's been great so far. It's been a obviously a process. But when I think of all that we've accomplished in these couple years together, it's been really fun. So we're just trying to keep this success going as much as possible.
Yeah, did you ask like any advice from any other people, like guys who got nationalized, like, should I do this?
Yeah, I was actually playing with Justin Cobbs, who was the former naturalized player. And I was just kind of getting knowledge from him about his experience about going through everything. And he kind of mimicked what, my agent had told me. It's a great opportunity. It would definitely help in the long run being considered a European in terms of playing with the ball clubs, respective ball clubs throughout Europe. Um, the one thing he did say is that, the summers are going to be a lot shorter. So, just got to be prepare for that and kind of adjust. But yeah, I kind of got some knowledge beforehand for sure.
Yeah, you started out like the World Cup last summer. How was it just playing in that and or at least just playing against so many different countries?
It was great. I mean, the year before that, we played in the EuroBasket first. So I
Mhm.
think that was kind of my first taste of, sharing the court with guys like Dennis Schroeder, walking in the hotel lobby and seeing Luka Doncic, Giannis, Joker, you know what I'm saying, all these premier guys. I knew it was something special. And then, we kind of carried that momentum over to the World Cup, like you said, last year. Being able to get Montenegro's world ranking up to, I think we're at 11 now. It's something special, especially when you think about how small the country of Montenegro itself is compared to, some of the countries we faced off against and are going to face off against in the future. So I think it's outstanding what we've been able to accomplish in these last couple of years.
Has there been anybody that you've had the most fun going against so far?
I think that last game in the EuroBasket against Germany was definitely special. We started off really slow. Obviously, to start, the matchup myself versus Dennis Schroeder.
Mhm.
That's something I was, interested to or that was something I was looking forward to. But I remember to start the game, we started off really bad. I think we dug ourselves a hole, a pretty deep hole in the first half. I think we were down 20 at one point in Germany. So it looked like it was kind of it looked like our fate was already written, but we fought hard. We fought back hard in the third quarter. I think we ended up cutting it to 3 or 4. There was definitely a controversial play that happened that could have been an unsportsmanlike, that should have been an unsportsmanlike for Germany. That could have gave us even a little more momentum towards the end of the game. But
Yeah.
it just come down to they made a few more plays than us. But I think that was definitely a sign of um, Montenegro has something to say as a country. And so I'm just when I think about our journey, I think that game in particular, even though we lost, it opened a lot of eyes for sure.
And of course, star Montenegro's Nikola Vucevic. Like, how has it been just having an NBA All-Star teammate and just how important has that been?
I think it's been great. The thing I cherish the most is just getting to know him off the court as a person. Obviously we have Orlando ties with me being from Orlando and him spending most of his career in Orlando. But just getting to know him as a person, getting to know a little bit about, his family and just who he is as a genuine person off the court has been the best. You know, obviously his resume speaks for itself in terms of what he can do on the court. I don't think anybody can really question that, but you know, getting to know him off the court and building that relationship as men and not just as teammates has been you know, the greatest thing for me so far.
Yeah, has there been any other teammates you built like a really good relationship with over time?
Yeah, of course. I mean, all the guys, you know, the guys that I played against and with in Baduchinos, I think you know, we just continue to strengthen our relationships. Um, you know, this go around right now when we're at the Olympic qualifying tournaments, you know, I'm really trying to help out a couple of the younger guys that have that have a trajectory of, you know, getting to high level Europe, if not NBA.
Hmm.
So just trying to, you know, be with them and trying to instill confidence in them. And just try to be a voice of support for them. I think that's kind of been my biggest role so far with some of the other guys this year.
Yeah, how's it been? It's just come. I assume most of the guys that like decent English. So how's it been like communicating with guys that don't know English like as well as like of course like you and I do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is a good thing about the team, right? Most of the guys speak pretty fluent English. So
Mhm.
um, if there's a disconnect with one of the guys, more than likely there's another guy right next to us that can maybe translate a word or two. You know, they'll definitely let me know when they think I'm speaking too fast in English.
Yeah.
And I always try to keep that in mind and try to slow it down with them. And vice versa, you know, if they're speaking in Montenegrin and they think it's something that um is important for me, or just, you know, a joke where they don't want me to feel left out. You know, I think they do a really good job of that. So again, it just leads to the chemistry that hopefully we can continue to grow on and off the court.
Yeah, I was speaking to Jalen last week and he was telling me at the huddle like he had like a translator. Do you also have a translator in like the team huddles?
Yeah, in the team huddles, yeah, just one of the my guy Marco Simonovic. He's probably the guy I gravitate most to in the huddles.
Mhm.
Just because his you know, he spent time in the States, so he understands that, you know, he can speak really fluently in both Montenegrin and English. So um but again, you know, the coach also he speaks English too, but you know, obviously his natural tongue is Montenegrin. So um, you know, I don't really stress it that much. You know, for me, I'll be able to pick up on nuances and things here and there.
Have you had any like trash talking moments when they're trying to speak another language to you? You're like, I'm not really sure what you're saying.
No, I know. I feel like I know the trash talk because, you know, when you learn a foreign language, the first thing they teach you are the bad words, right? So I
Yeah.
can definitely. I think if someone did try to trash talk me in Montenegrin or the Balkan language for that matter, I'm able to pick up on it. You know, I might not say the right thing back, but
Yeah.
no, it's I can definitely pick up on some stuff. But more or less, it has to do with basketball.
Gotcha. Now going into the tournament, like you said, it's just, and you're like, I kind of have, I say like it's Group B, kind of like how it's Group A, how you're gonna, the top two teams advance to go on to the next tournament. You guys had kind of have a group where all three of those teams, you, Brazil, and Cameroon, could all advance. Have you guys been like watching film on them? Like, how do you guys prep for the teams like that?
Yeah, well, we just had, you know, the film session today where we analyzed, you know, the offensive defense of Brazil, and then I'm sure tomorrow at some time, you know, we'll go over the players and their characteristics. But um, you know, my biggest motto and that what I try to preach to the guys is like, look, we can't really get too caught up in what another team does. Of course, we need to do our due diligence, right? We need to know their sets. We need to know how we're going to guard certain guys, whatever. But you know, we have to make sure we're sharp offensively and defensively on our end. And a lot of the other things will kind of take care of themselves. You know, we're a group that, you know, we have to be able to come out the right way and set a good tone for ourselves, or else we're not going to give ourselves a chance. So understanding things like that and trying to relay that message to the group as a whole, I think will be more important for us in this tournament than, you know, the quote unquote X's and O's of everything.
Yeah, what was your initial reaction when you saw your group mate with Latvia being the home team?
I thought it was, you know, I just thought like, look, it's a great opportunity, you know.
Mm.
You know, obviously when I saw some of the other destinations, especially with me, you know, already being familiar with Spain, it was like, man, we kind of missed out. But look, we're here, you know what I mean? This is how the cards have been dealt to us. And, you know, it's this is a moment that we can't take for granted because a lot of teams would kill to be in our position. So
Mhm.
I think we understand that going into it. So the biggest thing for us is just to not put pressure on ourselves. Continue to understand what got us here and just continue to live in the moment and enjoy it as much as we can.
Yeah, how excited are you just to play in a tournament like this with the potential playing the Paris Olympics?
Right.
It's
Yeah,
just
no, I mean it's eye-opening, man, for real. And it puts a lot of things into perspective, right? Like, I'm a kid from, pretty much Orlando, Florida. I
uh,
never in a million years would have thought in high school that, my life would be this, and even take out the national team stuff, just me being able to travel the world and being able to experience different cultures, meet different people, all based off of the game that I love playing.
mhm.
The game of basketball has taken me to a lot of different places. It's let me experience a lot of different things. I've met a lot of great people through this journey. So I'm just really appreciative of it, man. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's something that I'm just truly humble for and I'm truly grateful.
Yeah, do you plan? Of course, you gotta go through the some games, but if you do make Paris, you have plans on having some family coming down there.
Yeah, absolutely. My wife is actually on her way now, here for the tournament. And then yeah, my parents and my brother and his wife already pretty much have all the things set aside for, hopefully a Paris trip. So
Uh,
it's if it's in the cards, then we'll be ready. We'll definitely be ready if the cards pan out that way.
Yeah, going back to play Latvia, a team who had that big kind of like Cinderella run in the World Cup. What is it like? If you want to make that tournament and make it to Paris, you're probably gonna have to go against Latvia. How good is that team?
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw even in the World Cup without, their key player Porzingis, how dangerous they can be. I've had a lot of experience with guys like the Coors brothers playing against them in Spain this past year. And they just play really hard. They play really hard and they have a really good balance of team. They're very well coached. But again, I can't look too far
Yeah,
ahead in the
exactly.
future. And I would think that, if you ask someone from Latvia, they would say the same, right?
Mhm.
Um, it's one game at a time. We got to get there. They got to get there. But if it happens to fall that way, then it'll definitely be fun. But we got to take care of business one game at a time, and it starts tomorrow with Brazil.
Yeah, what are you looking forward most against Brazil tomorrow?
Me personally, just my individual matchup with Marcelinho Huertas,
Mhm.
again, someone who I'm very familiar with playing against Spain these last couple of years. Played against his team in the Champions League finals. Played against them my first year in Spain in the Copa del Rey finals. So
Mhm.
we always kind of have this running joke with each other, like, we can't seem to get away from each other, no matter what it is. But Brazil as a team, they're just talented. They have a really good mix of young energy with veteran experience. So I think it'll be a good test for us for sure, especially to start off the tournament to see where we're at.
Then going to Cameroon too, going against Pascal Siakam, that team. How much do you think he makes that team even better?
I mean, again, like kind of to echo what I said about Vooch, right? His resume and his career speaks for itself. Obviously they're a much better team with him than without him. I would be sure to say that even they would say that. Not to discredit the other guys, but
Yeah.
when you have a player of that caliber with that star power, with that resume and that lineage behind him, it elevates everybody else's game. That's what Vooch does for us, right? So, I think it'll definitely be interesting to see their approach. These them and Brazil are two teams we're not really familiar with, not having not played them. At least my time with Montenegro. So, it'll definitely be interesting to see how we stack up against both these teams
No, it's early on, but how would you describe this Montenegro team in less than 3 words?
in less than 3 words.
Less than 3 words, how would you describe it?
Ambitious.
Why you
Yeah.
say that?
Because we're missing a lot of our veteran guys due to injuries and other circumstances. But the guys that whose names have been called have been very eager, have been very focused for the most part. Of course, there's going to be a learning curve with a lot of guys being younger. It's crazy. I realized yesterday that out of this group, I'm the second oldest behind Vooch at 31. And,
Uh-huh.
usually I'm like middle of the pack, maybe fifth or sixth, but for me to be the second oldest, I thought was pretty crazy. So we definitely have that inexperience, but at the same time, with inexperience comes a mindset of, I don't know any better. So why don't
Mhm.
I just go out and just play and have
Yeah.
fun? Because I don't know anything else. So I think that has to be the message that, I got to continue to preach to these young guys. You can't at this level of play, you can't pass up shots because you might be nervous or you don't want to mess up. That's playing too timid. And speaking from somebody who's been in those positions before, that's not the right way to play the game. You got to be able to be confident, understand that you deserve to be here on this team right now in this moment. So
Mhm.
embrace it and just try to
Mhm.
make the most out of it.
What would you say you learned the most from the 2022 EuroBasket to where you are right now?
Patience, in regards to, understanding that things are a process. It's always kind of difficult because, with Vooch and his NBA obligations, we understand that he's not going to be there every FIBA window, with certain
Mhm.
guys battling injuries or, have family obligations, whatever the case may be, right? It's always kind of tough to have a core group of the same guys all the time.
Yeah.
So with that comes a level of patience that you have to have, especially me being the point guard, being, the leader, quote unquote. Um, you got to understand there's going to be a learning curve for a lot of guys. Some guys are going to get it right away. Some guys is going to take a little more time to adjust. But, my job I think that I can do consistently is kind of leading by example and leading with my voice saying, you know, look, you're gonna mess up, but
Hmm.
try to make sure it's only one time, because then when a pattern of mistakes comes a pattern of frustration, not just from, individually, but as a team, right?
Hmm.
So, my message I just try to preach is just, be as confident as yourself and you can, and, continue to just stay focused and put the work in that's gotten you here. And, I think you'll, further down, sooner than later, you'll be in good shape.
Hmm. Going back, I meant to ask earlier. I forgot. I forgot in the World Cup. You're playing the Philippines a little bit. Philippines is so massive in basketball, and a team that you potentially could go against later on. What was it like playing the Philippines, where just so many big basketball fans?
I thought it was amazing, honestly, from the hotels that we stayed in to the atmosphere in the city of Manila. You just felt it, and I wasn't sure. I had no knowledge of just how big basketball was in the Philippines. Obviously, when you think of Asia and their love for basketball, you mainly hear China, just because China's so big. But
Yeah.
um, from the moment we touched down in the Philippines, when they greeted us at the airport fresh off the plane. You felt the energy, you felt the spirit of basketball in the Philippines. So I think the World Cup is great for them. I think it's great for them that they're here now in Latvia. And I'm sure that, with guys like Jordan Clarkson leading the way for them, their standard of basketball would do nothing but improve over time.
Hmm. Has been any, what would you say is your favorite place you played at so far in your career?
My favorite place, I think, honestly, is probably right now where I'm at in Malaga, Spain, right now.
Hmm.
In terms of on the court and off the court. When I think of off the court, it's really between Malaga and Athens in Greece. But the
Hmm.
basketball situation just in Athens wasn't the most ideal for me. But I think Malaga is a good balance of success, individual and team success on the court, and off the court you have the peace of mind that comes with um, playing good basketball with a good fan base, with a good organization. Not to say that my former teams weren't really good
Hmm.
organizations, but it's just you just feel the connectivity in terms of basketball leading to having a enjoying life off the court, right? The program I'm with in Malaga is a team that they really stress like, okay, when we're on the court, we're going to be focused, we're going to work hard. But when we're off the court and it's time to relax, we're going to relax, we're going to enjoy. There have been plenty of times where my coach has told me, this is an off day. Do not come in the gym. I don't want to see you in the gym. Like, and not just me, all the guys.
Yeah.
Like, go spend time with your family, go out, party, get dinner, whatever you want to do, but
Uh-huh.
just get your mind off of basketball. And I think um, when you have coaches that understand that balance, when you have organizations that understand that balance, I think it's great. And I think those are kind of the organizations that get the most out of their players.
Yeah, how do you prepare for a big game like this, but you're about to play against Brazil? How do you prepare for stuff like that, say the day before, the morning of?
Honestly, I try not to think about it too much. I know some guys are like super locked in, super focused, and there are times in my career when I have been like that. But I think the older I get, and you know, the way my priorities kind of shift into my life now, like when I was a young kid in college or first starting overseas, I was okay with coming home after a bad game or a loss and just not talking to anybody in silence now. But now, I'm married. My wife's not going for that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
she's like, you got 10, 20 minutes to get all that out your system. And then we gonna watch whatever show we gonna watch, or we gonna watch whatever movie we're gonna watch. But I think she's definitely helped me get out of that shell of just being too focused and a little too locked in. Of course I understand the work that I put in on and off the court. So I'm never not confident in my game. But with the bad game, she definitely helps kind of relieve that stress a little bit with her just telling me like, look, it's a basketball game, there will still be more to play. And there's more to life than just basketball,
Yeah.
And of course, I think that kind of gets lost in translation a lot just because, with me being a competitor, with fans being so competitive about their respective teams, it kind of gets lost in translation. So, she's definitely helped me kind of get out of that mode where it's like, all right, for these 40 minutes, I'm definitely locked in, but win or lose, life goes on. There are more important things that are going on in the world. So, yeah, for me, I just try not to think about it too much one way or the other. And I just try to relax and try to enjoy it as much as I can.
Yeah, how is it seeing family travel down to your games, just them being at your games and just seeing them act like, does it feel like different when they're there?
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm grateful that, my family can take those time and do those things. My wife is able to travel and be with me and sharing these moments. She was with me in the EuroBasket, she was with me in the World Cup, she was with me when I won the Copa del Rey, she was with me um in the Champions League, but she's also been with me when I've had surgeries and so she really has seen damn near the whole picture. So,
Mhm.
just for me to be able to share moments with her, and my family when they come and visit me, or her family when they come and visit her, it's a blessing. And at the end of the day, of course, a lot of it has to do with basketball, but the fact that I'm able to, or we're able to show our families a different part of the world and be able to experience different things with them, experience different cultures with them, I think is something that speaks way more than, or that carries more weight to me than, just them being able to see me play basketball. So yeah, it's something I don't take for granted, and I'm just extremely fortunate enough to be in this position to share things like this with my family and my loved ones.
Now going off that, how bad do you, the team, and the families just want to see you play in the Paris Olympics?
Yeah, yeah, very bad. It's funny because like, it's kind of like a win-win situation for them because it's like, all right, if unfortunately if something doesn't happen and you guys don't qualify, then I'll be able to come home and spend time
Yeah.
with them. But if we do make it all the way, then it's something. It's again, it's another experience that they'll be able to be a part of, right?
Mhm.
Not a lot of people can say they've done a EuroBasket World Cup and an Olympics.
Yeah.
So it's just something that for me personally, it kind of feels like I'm playing with house money at this point. Of course, I'm overly dedicated to the national team right now. But regardless, I know my family is proud of me no matter how it goes. So I'm just trying to do what I can to put, this team in the best position possible to be successful. And then whatever happens after that, I think I'll be able to live with.
Well, that's all the questions I have. Anything else you want to add?
Nah. I mean, just, if I got any uh Orlando, Florida fans, Youngstown, Ohio fans, I don't know, all the fans, the teams I play with, come support Montenegro in the qualifying tournament as we try to make some magic happen.
Once again, man, I appreciate your help on this call. Best of luck in this next week of tournament and the potential of playing in the Paris Olympics.
I appreciate it, Keith. Thanks for having me.